Welcome back to 2024. No, what do you mean welcome back to 2024?
Okay.
Welcome to 2024.
Start that back over. Take two.
Welcome to 2024. You wanted to hear this. This is why you came to listen to the 365 Message Center show. Well, it's our first episode of the year. We've got 5 messages we're going to cover. We haven't talked about what's going to be the headline, so I'm just going to randomly pick. That was fun last time we did it, Daniel.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was fun for me. Teams free. It's an application. It's a thing. It's part of Windows. It's going to be able to do some fandangled stuff and be able to join work meetings. Fandangled stuff.
Fandangled.
Fandangled. We've also got answers in communities for those of you using Engage Premium. We'll talk more about that. And who doesn't love a good flyout in their UI? Well, get ready for some convenient ways of setting your settings. This is episode 316.
I'm so happy, Daryl, that we made it to 2024. We are here. We're back again. I'm not going to start singing, but we are back. And Daryl is as goofy as ever, which, if you ever change then I don't know what we'd do. We'd lose all of our viewers and listeners, and we would have to find another job. So
no, Daniel, I go over the stats quite frequently, and I see dips in subscriptions when I try to be funny.
So you're trying to sabotage
us. Serious now.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Welcome everybody. We are glad to be here. We had some time off for a couple of weeks to refresh and spend some family time and to plan what we're going to talk about today. Which, frankly, there's a lot of updated messages. If you went into the message center and you were taking a look around, you're like, look at all these updated. And pretty much all of the updated ones were timeline changes. So things got pushed a little bit, kind of expected. Even some things that we talked about at the beginning of December were immediately updated to say, oh, never mind, we're slipping. But that's okay. We're getting those. So before we jump in, Daryl, we kindly ask those that are watching on YouTube to give us a thumbs up, right? And make sure you're following us here on this channel. And if you're listening on the audio podcast, give us that 5-star review. We'd really appreciate it. But really, the number one thing we ask for you to do is share this episode out. Just copy the URL. Wherever you are, whether you're in the audio or in YouTube, and paste it into your favorite social media applications. I said plural there, applications, and say, I watch this, I listen to this, and you should too. We'd greatly appreciate that as well.
I'll add something to that, Daniel. Yeah. Sometimes people find a portion of this valuable podcast to be even more valuable. Right. So if you do find that there is something you want to draw a colleague's attention to, or someone that you're connected with, say, hey, the show covered this, then you can also copy a link to that position in the video, the time stamp or the time mark. So if you see that option, that's also another good, useful thing to share and point people to.
Absolutely.
The useful stuff we cover.
And we'd love to see your comments. So please leave us a comment down below in YouTube and let us know how you're doing in 2024. Let us know what you're looking forward to in this year in the M365 and Power Platform realms. Let us know what you're thinking, and we'd love to engage with you there and on socials. On all the socials that matter, Daryl, where can our listeners and the watchers out there find us on all those beautiful socials?
I'll do it like the BBC broadcaster that did the countdown. 3, 6, 5. Message Center show.
So So that's a nice inside joke there. And maybe let's have a conversation in the
365
chat,
MCS.
in the comments down below. Let's have a conversation about the joke that man over there was just talking about. But yeah, 365 MCS. Fantastic. Daryl, first message of the year. I think it's very apropos that it is a Teams message, because Teams is our friend.
The team just keeps giving us things, don't they?
They're a giver. So tell us all about joining meetings from the free Teams.
Yep, exactly. What happens when we join a meeting? We click a link to a Teams meeting, and usually we see a browser come up and give us an option to either continue to use the browser or to open up the meeting within Teams. This message: Microsoft Teams, join Teams work meetings from Microsoft Teams free, and vice versa, MC 704194. This allows you to use that Microsoft Teams free that is installed in Windows 11. It is part of the OS. I think you've got to work quite hard to remove it or prevent it from working if it's something you don't want to use. But here's a reason that you might want to use it and keep it. If you have been invited to a Teams meeting, but you're not part of an organization or school that doesn't have Teams, this could be useful to you. Now that I say this out loud, Daniel, that's interesting, but why would I see that in my message center? Maybe because as an admin, I might want to offer this as a capability for people to join. The brilliant thing about this, and I know you've got some thoughts about this too, is it will not present that browser option, but it will open up Teams. And if you've got it installed, great. If you've got Teams free installed, but not the full Teams, it'll open up and it will allow you to attend.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, no.
Did I get it right?
I mean, but you kind of said full Teams versus Teams free. Teams, the work edition, right, is if you only have Teams free installed and you click that link that is to a tenant, a Teams work or school link, then you can use the Teams free client to access that meeting, and vice versa. So if you're going the other way around, you're logged into your organization's Teams, right? And you click on your ball team, your neighborhood watch Teams conversation, or your whatever, your community group. They send you a meeting and you're like, oh, I need to join that meeting. And I click it and okay, it just opens it up. I mean, it just makes sense. That would be great if it just worked instead of opening up a browser and you could only join through a browser instead. So, so yeah,
so it's given us a better experience than being in the browser. It's given the full client, or a client experience. Right. And I changed my words because there are some differences, that if you are joining a work or school Teams meeting, from the Teams free client, it is limited. There are things like, if I go down to here, users of the free Teams won't be able to be assigned to breakout rooms. What else, Daniel? Right. What else is missing?
Well, kind of the biggest gotcha for me is those users that are using the Teams free client joining a work or school Teams meeting won't be able to see PowerPoint Live presentations. So if the presenter is using PowerPoint Live, then they're not going to be able to even view it. And the reason why that's a big one for me is this couldn't be confusing, right, to everyone, right? To the person who's joined, they're sitting there and the presenter's talking about, okay, and you can see on this screen, and they're like, wait a minute, I don't see anything. And they said, wait a minute, people can't see. Can you not see the PowerPoint? Blah, blah. And it just might cause confusion, because will the presenter even know that that's the reason why they can't see?
Yeah. Can we role play this? Hey, but I did join. I joined via Teams.
Yeah, but and so you still can't see the PowerPoint.
No, I can't see it.
Well, why don't you
I
try
can
to
see the
rejoin?
Teams logo.
Yeah, rejoin.
Okay. No, I rejoined and it's the same
Uh-huh.
thing. I still can't see it.
Well, that's that's confusing. Maybe. What I need to do is turn off my Teams, my PowerPoint Live, and I'll redo it. Okay. So now I'm redo. Can you see it now?
No, I still can't see it.
See, this is why I think it's the biggest problem with this. Now, I mean, I'm not trying to poo-poo this whole thing, Daryl. This is great. I like click a meeting link and it takes you into the meeting. I like that. Mm-hmm. But I hope there's a nice warning. We don't have a screenshot. But I hope there's a warning saying, hey, a Teams free person has joined. They can't see your PowerPoint Live. Right. Because I think everybody needs to be warned. The presenters need to be warned that, and the person who's joining, you won't be able to see PowerPoint Live.
Well, there is something we haven't said yet too, that if you aren't signed in to Teams free, it will still open it up and use it as a client, but you'll appear as a guest. If you are using Teams free and you're signed in with your Microsoft account, then it'll present differently. Yeah. It'll have your name, but
so I think that it is the reason why I think it's the biggest thing, the biggest kind of issue or something, is that people that are using Teams don't care. I'm in Teams. I clicked a link. I got to the meeting. It shouldn't matter what client I'm using. Is it Teams free or is it the Teams Work edition? Like, it shouldn't matter, but it does. And I get why it matters. There's a difference between the two, but when you're a user and you're just trying to join a meeting, you're not going to be thinking, if I'm in the Teams one that has the purple T and the white outline versus the purple and the white T. I don't know. So,
but we sort of know this because we're familiar with it.
Right.
Now the very people that will have even less knowledge of what that Teams is and how are the ones that will be using Teams free.
That's right. That's exactly right. So I think that's the biggest deal here. Now, things like recordings and, they can't the Teams free users won't be able to start recordings. That makes sense. The breakout rooms, that can be a deal. Again, I hope there's a warning to say, you have Teams free users that have joined the meeting. You can't assign them to a breakout room or something, just like what I was saying before. So
they'll be the ones left behind.
Yeah, they'll be left behind. All right.
They'll be in there with you and you'll be trying to assign them to a breakout room and you won't know why.
And you won't know why they can't be assigned, right? Can you rejoin? Can you, there's just, so Teams people, if you're listening, and we know you do, everyone at Microsoft listens to our show. We know. Please have a warning, for presenters and for those Teams free attendees. Pretty please.
Well, that is a standard release will begin rolling out early February, expected to be complete mid-March. Let's move on to, it's another Teams message.
Surprise!
Tell us about it, Daniel.
Microsoft Teams integrate chat notification with Meeting RSVP status. It's a bit, okay. MC 704035. It's a bit confusing the way that's stated. Basically what this is, you'll be able to control how you get notification in meeting chats. So we all know in Teams meetings, you have chat, and that chat happens during the meeting. It can happen before the meeting. It can happen after the meeting. And this update is talking about when you RSVP, how you RSVP to that meeting will determine whether you get notifications about that chat or not. So the number one, the biggest one here is that if you decline a meeting, then you will not receive notifications about chat notifications, right? Which on the surface makes perfect sense, right? I decline this meeting. Don't bug me with the chat. However, Daryl, when we've covered this, that if you so choose, you can leave meetings you've declined on your calendar, right? Because we talked
Yes.
about this last year. Last year, gosh, that sounds like it was so long ago when it was just, last month. But we talked about how you can say, no, I want those deleted so I can keep up, with meetings that are happening. I just want everyone to know I'm not going to show up. And so that's great. But what if I want to keep up with the chat too, in the same vein? I don't want to attend the meeting, but I want to see what's being said. Well, I'm not going to get those notifications. Okay. And because it says you will not receive notifications or see chats from meetings you decline. So it's not just you won't get notifications, you won't see the chat at all. So that's the big deal there, is like, well, but what about those people who decline it but actually still want to stay up to date? Okay, so but if you actually RSVP, it says you'll be able to set how you want to be notified if you accept or say tentative for the meeting. It doesn't tell us or show us. That's the bigger one. I'd love to see a screenshot here of what it's going to look like when I say tentative. Is it going to have like a slider or something that says notify me or don't notify me, or what does that look like? We have no clue. What that looks like. And I will say there is something, and maybe this is a bug, or not a bug, a slip, an issue here. The third sentence in this message at the very top, it says, this release of Microsoft Teams Meeting ID will be rolling out across Microsoft Teams desktop, blah, 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 blah. An additional way to control their chat list. What does Meeting ID have to do with this?
Could be the template message, or the last
one, maybe
message,
or maybe
that was created was lefted.
Maybe, or maybe it is actually something to do with it. But so I just want to call that out to say, if you're confused by that, I am too. But I'd really like to see a screenshot here to show us actually what it means by, if I select tentative or accept, how am I controlling what it will be? But just know it's coming. So the rollout is early February for targeted release through mid-February. Standard release is mid-February through late February. And then we have the government folks come along with us. Fantastic. GCC will be late February to early March. GCC High will be through mid-March, and DoD will be mid-March to late March. So hopefully before this is released, they will update this and give us some screenshots, and we can see. But you should have a second tenant anyway at your disposal, people, and it should be set to targeted release so you can see these things early, so you can use it as a training guide for your people. So so then it will show up for you before it releases to everybody else. I'm just putting a little plug in there for best practices. That's okay, Daryl. Daryl gave me a look. For those audio listeners, gave me a look at, what is he talking about?
You didn't hear my look, audio listeners?
You know what? I'm done with Teams for now. I'm done with it.
I don't believe
I mean, not right
for now.
Well, just briefly, actually, as it turns out. But can we switch to another product? Oh, wait. It's a product in Teams. Rats. Shoot.
Well, it doesn't have to be. You could go direct to it from the waffle, the app launcher. Updates to adding topics to posts in Viva Engage, MC 700-930. Interesting how we make a choice between. I could have said 700-930. Standardized,
or you could have
Daryl.
said,
be consistent.
Well, you normally say double when it's two. You could have said 700.
700. I'm not giving them a phone number. Could be. Don't call this number. Okay, we're not advocating for that. What's happening here? Viva Engage was going through a change with the way topics work. We've covered this over the last number of months, where topics in Engage used to be quite a separate thing. You could add a topic to a conversation. It would allow you to I guess, connect conversations to certain topics. That's how it works. They separated from hashtags because they used to be one and the same. But the vision was to transition to have Engage topics merge with Viva topics, or what we now call topics in Viva. What's the difference?
So many topics.
It's about
Yeah.
So yeah, we're talking all about this topical word. That's the topic for today. When we add a topic to a conversation, it allows us to go to that topic and see all the conversations that have been tagged with that topic. And the connection now to Viva topics, or topics in Viva, is that you can have subject matter experts assigned to it. You can manage it as a central point for conversations, people, kind of graph connections, other related topics. So that is a product as part of Viva. There is a piece of this in the middle, in between, where they're making it as part of the Viva Engage experience, and that is that it's like topics light. So this allows you to be able to add these topics there. Now, this has been a process. It's been taking quite some time, and from personal experience across a few different tenants, what I've seen happen is there's been a delay in that merging of topics, but they're now expecting that this is coming to an end. For some of us, we've had to log service tickets and help to hurry that process along. The motivation for this change actually does relate to a premium product, and this is Answers in Viva. And so Answers in Viva is a portal that is part of the premium Viva experience. You can go to this portal and ask a question. You can tag it with a topic, and then maybe a subject matter expert, someone who said, yep, I can cover this, I look after this topic, will be told about it, will be given a notification and have the opportunity to answer that question. And other subject matter experts can do the same. Daniel could then come along and he could say, yeah, I want to contribute to this conversation too, and answers could be upvoted and the like. So that is the motivation for bringing topics together with Engage. Daniel, do you? I mean, I know this is it's a premium product, so it's something that not everyone has access to. But can you see the benefit of bringing topics together in Viva?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the, I mean, Engage / Yammer already had this concept of topics. It wasn't exactly the topics in Viva that we've known in previously, but it was this concept of tagging related content with the same topic or tag and having it connected. And so it actually makes more sense to have it unified and then bringing that to all posts, not just in communities, not just in answers, but also in posts, because of that confusion of, well, is this a Engage topic, or is this a topic in Viva topic? And so unifying that, but then making it available, across the post, it makes total sense, right? Instead of having that confusion. So I think the biggest benefit, like you were mentioning before, is again consolidating, making it to where you can click on that topic and see conversations and content around that topic all together. So
so that the experience of adding a topic to a post will change, because it's going to ask a bit more as part of the process. If you've been using the former version of topics with Engage, that's what's been migrated over. So you'll have, if you've got existing posts using a topic, then those posts will still be associated to it. The other benefit is that if you've got that happening in the background using the new topics in Viva, and you choose to use Viva topics in Viva as a full premium product, then no merge has to happen. You've already been using the right fuller experience of using topics. Now, I want to sort of roll straight into that next message, though, Daniel.
Okay, I'm just thinking of all those people who decided to have a game out of every time we said topics. They were going to do something.
But we haven't changed the topic yet, and we're
still
in trouble. Not even between.
They're in trouble. Wow. So many
look.
Yeah.
So covering that off. When will this happen? The updated topic picking experience will begin rolling out January 2024. For audio listeners, is there any other kind? Daniel's trying very hard not to laugh. But rolling into a related message is Viva Engage answers in communities, and the ability to go to this new answers portal. Great, we can go there and post our question. But I thought and had hoped that it would also encompass asking questions in any community. I go along to a community that might be focused on knowledge in a certain area within our organization, like how to better improve business processes. Wow, I've already thought of a dry topic there. But if you so choose to tag your conversation or drop your conversation in the business processes community, and you tag it with whatever that process is, then it should also appear in the answers portal for that topic. So that's what it is. It's about actually bringing those topics that you might be discussing in your communities and also aggregating them in the answers portal. And of course, if you don't have access to a community, you're not going to see those conversations there. It's all going to be security trimmed, and it could be tagged with a certain topic, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to turn up in answers and with that topic. But it means that you can ask questions and have answers and upvote them and earn badges, and by tagging a topic in a question in a community, it will appear in the answers portal, and it will also bring in a subject matter expert that's been tagged with that topic.
I gotta say that this is actually how I thought it was going to work when Answers in Viva was announced, a while back. I actually assumed it was going to be, well, we're going to be able to ask questions in communities and be able to answer them right there. Right. And you can ask questions already before this, but it's not part of that answers framework. Right. And so, but this is bringing that because you're doing it in the flow of your work. Right. You don't want to have to go, I have a question about this project management process. I picked another boring one. So I've got to go out of this community and go into answers in Viva and ask a question so that I can tag it and get an expert and get, that doesn't help me. Right. I want to stay where I'm at in the community and ask the question. That's what's bringing, that's what's coming to us. When is it coming, Daryl?
When will this happen? Standard release expected to be rolling out mid-January and complete late March. So I like it in that it's going to aggregate. And if you do want to just go and answer a few questions, you can go to the answers portal, or I'll translate answers portal for those who speak a different version of English.
The better version.
Yeah, good stuff. Enough of that. I think we've finished that topic, but let's move on to some more Teams messages.
Yes, we got to come back to Teams. Audio and video flyout and settings in Teams meetings, MC 699715. And this, my friends, number one, I love this message. It actually has screenshots. Yay! we actually see
First
what it's going to
ones
look
of
like.
the year.
Man,
Woo!
and it had to be Teams.
Oh.
So this is something that I have, I don't know about you, but I have in my main setup, sometimes I'm using a headset, okay, for my meetings, and sometimes I'm not. I just use the computer audio. And so every time that I'm like, oh, it's on the headset. So now I got to go and say microphone, laptop microphone, laptop speakers. And it's not as easy to do. It's not, I mean, it's easy to do. It's just kind of cumbersome of clicking here and going here and doing this. And well, they're bringing this to where in the meeting, you're going to be able to have a flyout right next to the video and the audio button, right? The microphone and the video button to fly out and say, select whatever the device you want to use straight away so that you can switch, a whole lot easier. And this is going to save me time and frustration to, when you go, you can't hear me. I know you can't hear me because the microphone is, and then I have to go click the settings and video, audio. And anyway, so it's going to remove that, that kind of process and bring it to a flyout for you. So in the screenshot, we can see that has a flyout right next to, it's basically a nice upside down carrot. Is that what it's called? The little down arrow looking thing. You click on it for the video and you select the video. Audio, you can select, your speaker and your microphone. You could turn off noise suppression or turn it on, all of those things. And you can get to the more audio settings if you need to, but those are the big ones, that everybody's going to be using is selecting speaker and microphone, in my opinion. So that is coming. And Daryl, I'm hoping you're as excited as I am. And if not, then you need to get on board because I'm excited to be able to quickly.
No, I preferred the side panel that pushed my meeting off to the side, reduced the, gallery or the content that I was viewing. And actually, it also took the place of the chat because I had chat open, but then and then sorry, and you can't see the chat now. No, I prefer that.
Daryl Downer.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to call you for this one. So it's rolling out targeted release. He's joking, people. Targeted release early January, so now-ish. I expect it to be completed by mid-January, so soonish. And standard release will be rolling out mid-January through late January. So it's rolling out pretty quickly. Hopefully they don't update this one and change the time frame. But I'm excited about it, and I'm really looking forward to using it. Absolutely. And Daryl, that's our last message for this episode was what I was trying to say.
I didn't think I did that badly.
You did terrible. No, this last message for this episode, I hope that you have given us a thumbs up here in the video. Would really smash it for us. Just go smash.
No, don't smash it, Daniel.
And make sure you're subscribed.
Word with the lawyers about that because we'll get pinged for destroyed.
No. If they listen to me tell them to smash it, they've got bigger problems. And make sure that you share a link to this episode, please. That's actually the biggest thing that'll help us. We'd greatly appreciate it. Anything else you want to say, Daryl?
Happy New Year! I think we said that at the beginning of the show. But
we did.
Yeah, great to have you back.
Fireworks.
Great to be back.
It is.
And yeah, we look forward to having more talks and discussions with you about stuff that arrives in Microsoft 365.
Absolutely.
Thank
you, everyone.
Rhymed.
Yeah. Good job. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. We actually greatly appreciate you. We were talking about it before the show started. We so greatly appreciate you and the conversations that we have with you in the comments and on the socials. So keep it up for 2024. And until next time, bye, everybody.
See you.